after 30 years now, I can say this is probably the most horrific thing that I've seen. And again, to the families, as the district attorney pointed out, we all have loved ones that passed. Like, rest in peace is rest in peace. And this is definitely something that tears at your heartstring, especially when you see, as he pointed out, an infant.
A months-long investigation into repeated grave burglaries in Pennsylvania leads investigators to uncover more than 100 human remains at a man's home. 34-year-old Jonathan Gerlach was booked into jail, faces numerous charges including abuse of a corpse and receiving stolen property. And right now, we want to welcome Ann back from the Criminally Obsessed. Thanks so much for being with us. And this is just a horrifying, weird story.
Yeah, and you know, I'm hoping we're going to get more information soon because, you know, right now he's under $1 million bond. He's facing more than 500 charges. As you said, like, you know, everything from abusing a corpse to receiving stolen property. But what happened is you have this guy who was heavy into the metal scene, heavy metal music scene in Pennsylvania, it's sort of in the heart of Amish country. And, you know, he was involved in what's considered the oddities community, but what he was doing was highly illegal. He had gone in and started burglarizing one of the oldest abandoned burial ground cemetery areas in the country. It dates back to 1855, and he was going into mausoleums, rappelling into crypts, and then taking off with multiple sets of skeletal remains. And when I say multiple, I mean they have found 100 sets of skeletal remains in his basement of his house in various states. What we're hearing is that there's a lot of concern around this as well, because and it's something that I did not consider until we had our guest, Joseph Scott Morgan, who is this unbelievable forensic criminologist, on to talk to us about this. He said, you know, one thing to really consider is these days when we go and we handle corpses, we handle them differently with embalming. But back in the 1800s, they were using heavy metals to do that. And so one thing that we're going to be watching out for is any kind of biohazard to the community, because this guy allegedly took all of these skeletal remains back to his basement, and there's literally video of it. And it appears that he might have been selling it online, because he has an Instagram account that is just chock-a-block full of these various skulls that date back hundreds of years. So,
okay, so how long has this been going on, and how did police finally get a tip on what was happening?
I'm hearing different reports about how long it's been going on, allegedly. What we know from the police reports is that they were able to put this in a period of this past fall, over a couple of months that this had been going on. But he had been prolific in his ability to get into these mausoleums and get out again. So he was able to lift allegedly a lot out of just this one cemetery. Now, has it been going on longer? You know, we have had just a ton of comments from viewers who were watching our story last week with Joseph Scott Morgan on Criminally Obsessed, saying that they also had been hearing that there were police investigating other areas. So we'll be seeing if there's anything to that at all. But obviously, they're going to be looking to see how long he had been either allegedly selling this, or if this activity had been going on longer. But I'm hoping that we're going to get more from the police and the investigation, maybe even later today.
Okay, so what kind of charges can he face?
Well, that's a great question, because you know, what if he was selling these to other people, skulls, for various reasons? You know, buying and selling the body parts, the skeletal remains, that's not what they're looking at right now. What they're looking at is the burglary and the abandonment or the abuse of the corpses that had been left there and what he had done with them. So those are the charges that we've heard about so far, and they are, as I said, 574 charges right now. So that's how many. And you're seeing now, like, how many skulls and skeletal remains we're talking about. I mean, there were mummified hands and feet. There were also they found in his basement. Police say they found literally corpse, like the skeletal remains hanging. Wow. So there's a lot for them to be going through right now. As I did talk to the coroner, though, which I thought was real interesting. I gave him a call in that area to ask him how he was going to try and identify where these remains, who they belong to, because now they're all jumbled up, and it's actually, when you get into those cases, it's actually called commingled, because all of these bones have been like put together into one place, and some of them are ancient bones. So the coroner's very worried. He says it would be a Herculean task to try and identify the bones. So for these families that know that they had relatives that were there, it's very disturbing, isn't it, to know that they may not be able to get their loved ones back.
Okay, so folks may want to learn more about this. So, Ann, where can they go on Criminally Obsessed to get even more information on this story?
Well, I hope you're watching the Criminally Obsessed YouTube show. We are diving in to these kind of stories all the time and getting new information for you. So please head over to our YouTube page for Criminally Obsessed. That's where you're going to find our daily show. We're on Monday through Thursday, and we're always bringing you something that you are most definitely obsessed with right now.
All right. Yeah, and this one was certainly a horrifying, disturbing one, too. All right. And Emerson, thank you very much for being with us, and we will talk to you again soon.